Hey guys, it's Redundancy back again here with another video, and this is going to be the 5-pound survival kit, which is part of a challenge on YouTube right now, which was originally done by Chris Tanner from the Prepared Mind 101 channel, which I'll put a link in the description below. Alright, let's set the scale up here, all the way to 0. And I'll do my official weigh in here. Grab it around the carabiner, including this carabiner is actually part of the kit too. And as you can see, 5 pounds. Pretty much on the dot. Yep, pretty much on the dot. Alright, here's my bag right here. Just a skeleton bag. Now let's check out the contents on the inside here. First thing I'm gonna pull out is, yes, I actually do have a bottle of water in my 5-pound kit here. 500 mils. Next thing I have is a reflective thermal blanket from Coglins. It's 1.3 meters by 2 meters or 50 by 79 inches. And it's got around it, it's got about 7.5 feet parachute cord, and this Coglins thermal blanket has 4 grommets on the corner, so. Next here, I got an orange stainless steel water bottle. So I can boil water in here if I wanted to. Hold water if I need to too. And I'll be able to see it because it's orange. Next here, I got a more companion here. Next here, now you might not know what this is, but this will actually hold over a gallon. Yes, over a gallon of water. Now this here actually contains most of my 5-pound kit, and I'll show this separately. Now, here's my white container, which has electrical tape, which is, the electrical tape would usually be around the rim, but for the sake of the video and to shorten up the video, it's just on the side right now. And this is a tobacco container, which is actually strong enough that I can stand on. So I can this would actually double as a seat for me if I needed it. Now I've gone ahead and opened up my container here, which, like I said, is a tobacco container. So I can hold water in it too, and sit on it if I need to. Now my kit here is pretty jam-packed here. So in no particular order, I'm just gonna pull things out and just sort of describe what I would use them for. Here's some oil, which could be used as fuel. I can use it when I'm cooking to add some fat, so I can add some needed calories for myself. Likewise, here's some more calories. Some hot chocolate mix right here. This is about like maybe 300 calories, give or take. So if I'm boiling water, I can add that in and have a nice hot drink that will fuel me up with much needed carbohydrates. Here's some hand sanitizer here, which is good for first aid, fire starting. Pretty good stuff. Next here I got 5 balloons, 2 orange and 3 yellows. If you haven't seen my video on balloons, go check it out. It's a pretty good item to have in a kit. It doesn't take up much room, as you can see here. And It doesn't weigh much too, and you can do quite a bit with this. And I can inflate these up and use them as for signaling during the day, during the night. Inflate them up if it's cold outside. Put them in my jacket for added insulation, right? Because if you're blowing in carbon dioxide from your breath into them, carbon dioxide is a good traps heat, right? Just like the greenhouse effect, right? So, and I could do quite a bit with something like this, and it doesn't weigh much, like I said. Just this. Next here, I got a red LED, so I can use this to help me see, or I can spin this and make a signal halo. I can actually also, with some of the cordage I have in this, put it around my head or around my hat and use it as a headlamp. Next here I got a cotton bandana, lots of different uses, filter water, cover my face, make char cloth out of it, pretty good stuff. And of course I got a little rubber band around here so I can use that too for a lot of different things. Here's my signal mirror for this kit, which is just a hard drive platter. This won't break because it's made of metal. And it's got a hole in the middle so I can use it to help me sight my target. Next here is some of the cordage I have, some floss, so I can floss my teeth, use it as, if I'm going fishing or what, as fishing line, right? Use it as, for that. Lots of different uses for this stuff. And this stuff is quite difficult to break, so the tensile strength isn't the greatest, but for fishing, it would work quite well. Next here I got some baking soda, which is good for a couple first aid things like bug bites, let's say, or if I got like a burn on my hand or something like that, I can use this to help cool it down. A lot of different uses for something like this. Doesn't take up that much room. And it works quite well, actually. And, of course, if my hands are dirty, for some reason, or from handling firewood or whatever, and my hands are all dark, I can wash my hands with something like this, too. Next here, I got about 6 or 7 cotton pads right here. Good for first aid if I'm bleeding. And, of course, I can use this as as tinder source for fire starting. Next here I got 40 matches, which still in the original, well, packaging, and it's just around a little Ziploc type of bag, so to keep them dry. Some trail marking tape right here. And this is actually orange, so I can use it to mark my trails if I need to, especially if I'm marking like a source of water or marking where I've laid traps or snares or something like that. So pretty handy stuff. And I could use this as emergency cordage too if I needed to. Let's see, what else do I have here? Just a little compass. Now north is that way, so let's see. As you can see here, it does face north. Let's see what else I have here. Another first aid item. I got a gauze pad 4x4. I could use this as fire starter if need be too, and just in a Ziploc type of bag just to keep it dry. Next here I just got a birthday candle. Well, obviously I'm going to be using this to start a fire or for added light. With the lighters that I have here, I would probably light this first, then use this to light my tinder bundle or whatever I'm trying to start a fire with, and conserve my fuel in my lighters. Next here I got some shaved wax right here. Good for fire starting. Just add that in as fuel and get that nice hot flame right away. Next here I got four jumbo paper clips, which I can use with the shelter when I need to fold it back up. And of course paper clips got a lot of different uses, so we got 4. I got some more matches right here with a striker, a couple strike anywhere matches in here too, and some normal matches just in the baggie to keep it dry. Let's see, what else do I have here? I got a roll of duct tape too. Obviously duct tape has a lot of uses. Emergency cordage, I can patch stuff up. Pretty good stuff. It doesn't take up too much room. It's just around a little piece of plastic, just to keep the weight down and the size or thickness down. It doesn't take that much room in this kit. Next here I got produce netting. If you haven't seen my video on the produce netting, go check it out. Lots of different uses for something like this. I can use this to for catching fish, or holding like different wild edibles. So pretty good stuff. And I just have it a Canadian jam knot around here just to keep it nice and small and tight. Next here I got 2 gliders. Now this one doesn't have the striker because it doesn't, but it does have the con around here, so I can use it as a emergency candle if I need to, and a rubber band. Here's a lighter that actually does have the striker. Now there's a balloon around here which also doubles as a fire starter, and this will keep it. The balloon will keep it nice and dry. Have you even checked out my video on that, where I dunked a balloon, a lighter with a balloon around it in water? Yep, works pretty well. Let's see, next here I got some more first aid items. Something to clean my hands or disinfect my hands with. Some small band-aids, right? Just in the baggie just to keep it dry. Next here I got more parachute cord. It's about 22 feet. And of course I got a Canadian jam knot around here just to keep it nice and tight. Next here I got some more safety pins, which I could use for fishing, binding stuff together, etc, etc. Lots of different uses. Next here is I have 2 things here. I got sparklers in here, so I can use them for signaling or to help me start a fire if need be. If you haven't checked out my video on using sparklers for signaling at night, go check that out. Now here's a crayon with cotton twine around it to help me start a fire or to work as a candle. Now the cotton twine, once this is ignited and starting to flame up, I can spread out the cotton twine around my wood pile or whatever that I'm trying to burn to start a fire, and spread out the flames. And this will last about 10 to 15 minutes. And the flame size is about, let's say, half the size of the crayon. And it also doubles as a way for me to write stuff down if need be. And of course it'll stand up on its own. And of course it's in a baggie just to keep it dry. Next here, I got an 8-foot by 4.5-foot Mylar tube tent. So I can use this for shelter, obviously. Obviously this is shiny, so I can use this as a big signal during the day or night. And because it's so big, I'm pretty sure someone would notice this. And of course I have it just sealed up in a plastic bag and with a Canadian jam knot just to keep it nice and tight. Next here is the Bear Grylls Scout Knife. Yes, I actually have another cutting tool in here too, if you even check that out. Now the oil I would use to just lube this up just to keep the rust off. Right. It's rated and stuff like that. And I got a little hair tie around it, so I can clip this onto the carabiner if I need to. Next here, I actually got some tissue. Yeah, so I could use this for fire starting, you know, TP if need be, first aid, and inside the baggie so it'll stay nice and dry. Next here I got black and a clear bag. Now I would use this for cover options, emergency poncho, or with the Mylar or the thermal blanket I can make a super shelter, right? A super shelter is just basically a really, really big greenhouse. Next here I got a hook, just a small hook with it's just around on some electrical tape just so it doesn't cut through anything else in the kit. Next here I got coffee, so I can brew some coffee, get some caffeine in me, and get that energy boost that I need to go through the situation if I'm using this kit. Here we have another container, stainless steel, right, so I can boil water in here, cook in here if I need to. Now on the bottom here is another bag, and on inside here is a magnification reflector, so I can use this to make solar ignition. I can also use this with the flash, that LED light, to extend the beam out like a lighthouse, so you can see. It'll work pretty well. Now on the bottom here, I got some coffee filters just to filter out some water, right? Use this as emergency tinder fire starting if I need to. Some salt, right? Especially if my electrolytes are down low, I can help. This might help too, especially with the hot chocolate. I got some tinfoil on the bottom here, so I can make a lid for this or for this, right? When I'm boiling water, just to help me conserve the fuel and help me boil the water faster. And there's a lot of different uses for tinfoil too. Lots and lots of different uses. And on the bottom here, since I had that scout knife, yes, I also have the Bear Grylls priorities of survival. And of course, at the bottom, I got an extra razor blade, so another cutting tool. I can conserve my Mora and my Bear Grylls Scout Knife by using this. So, as you can see here, I got quite a bit for 5 pounds. Multiple sources, multiple cutting tools. I got 3 cutting tools. I got water, multiple containers, multiple cordage options, multiple ways of starting fire. And a lot of the stuff has multiple uses and stuff like that. So, if you enjoy my videos, please subscribe. Thumbs up the video if you enjoyed this 5-pound kit. And stay tuned for more videos from me, guys. Till the next time, Crave Redundancy out. Peace.